Starfish podcast, episode number 2.
We'll go mushroom picking.
Okay.
And there's never a lack of snacks.
You know, the future's bright, the future's orange. The price of petrol has gone up. How is that connected to people buying that?
You just get happy with a stone.
I've learned a lot just by being there. I've learned a lot about cars. I've learned a lot about like games. I've learned a lot about pizzas.
I knew I talked too much.
But it was an emotional ride.
And this is Wes.
And this is Anya. Hello, and welcome to the Starfish podcast. This is Anya.
And this is Wes. So good to have you with us. As this is our second episode, and we've been having some great commenters on our first podcast. So I'm just going to give a little shout out. No names, anonymous, so don't worry. But there's been a comment from someone who said, enjoyed the episode, guys. Looking forward to the next one. Smiley face, rosy cheeks. The Book Thief and Rat Race are now on my to-watch list.
Excellent. There you go.
Quite good. We inspired someone there.
That's right. So for those who weren't at the last podcast viewing it, we did talk about like films that we've seen, and one of the films that you said you saw was The Book Thief, wasn't it?
Yes, and I recommended it to you.
You did.
And
like,
to the viewers.
That's right. And the last, and when I talked about like a song that was really cool from a film was Rat Race. And then we did say in that podcast, you know what? I'm going to check out the film you talked about, and you're going to check out the film that I talked about. And guess what, folks? That's exactly what we did.
We keep to our word.
That's right. So after watching Rat Race now, after hearing where that Shrek song came from, the Smash Mouth one, what was your thoughts on the film Rat Race?
Rat Race is full of energy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great, really good concept.
Yep.
I really did enjoy the concept of the film. A little bit actually reminded me of Squid Game. Anybody that's interested, who watched Squid Game or interested in that type of genre of challenges, doing things for money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was up my street. The humor was great. It was on point. It some of the parts of the film, without spoiling anything, caught me off guard. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I like that there wasn't just one main character. Well, there was one guy that kept on being seen on the scene, but then there were different characters who were kind of playing the main role, and just you kind of get to see the whole story. So I did enjoy it very much. But I think the Smash Mouth All-Star song still sticks with Shrek for me.
Oh, wow. There you go. That's a hot take, folks.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Well,
it's the rule of the first. You know, you hear it first in one place and then it sticks with you.
That's fair. I mean, this did come out first, though. But
Yes.
not to you, I guess.
Not to me.
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate that review. And do you know what? I did watch The Book Thief as well.
Oh, cool.
And again, no spoilers, but it was an emotional ride. It was a very emotional ride. Not to say too much, but it's set at a time where if you're a certain type of person or from a certain type of culture, you're frowned upon. And there was a really intense scene where someone was being looked for, and they were hiding in it wasn't the greatest hiding place. So the whole time, I've got no nails. I bit all my nails because it was so intense. And and then at the end, again, not going to spoil the ending, but whew, what a ride. And what you said on the last podcast, you can almost hear like the narrator's voice from it as well, which was really interesting. So at the start, it really sets the tone of no one's supposed to hear this narrator, but at this point, he kind of intervened for this one particular character when they were young. I highly recommend The Book Thief.
I'm glad you liked it. And I did check for all the viewers, there is a book. So
It's called The Film Thief.
Yes, The Film Thief. Yeah, they just do the opposites.
Yeah.
So if you are a fan of the movie, you can have a read as well. Apparently, the book's always better, so...
I agree.
Now we're moving on to something very exciting, viewers and listeners. If you're listening to us or not viewing the video, we are going to do Meet the Mentor with a certain someone. Can you guess?
Well, I can only see me and you did it last time. So
It's over to you, Wes.
Way, it's me.
That was unexpected, everybody.
Didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming, but yeah, excellent.
But there is a catch. All the questions that I have collated are from young people and staff members that Wes has not seen. And there's more questions and there's less time. I'm actually going to put a timer because for myself, I was gracious. I knew I talked too much, but for Wes, I will put a 2-minute timer. Question 1.
Oh.
Favorite Halloween sweet? Start.
Oh, it's got to be those purple Parma Violet sweets.
Great.
Love them.
What is your least favorite part of the day?
Least favourite part of the day? I'm going to say it's 7:30 when I have to say goodnight to my daughter. I miss her.
Oh, that's sweet. Favorite pizza topping?
Do you know what? This is going to be a little bit controversial, but I do like, if I could choose just one, it would be mushrooms.
Oh,
I
thought you were going to say pineapple then, but
no,
mushrooms,
not pineapple.
That's great.
Mushrooms. I had one
I
choice,
love mushrooms. That's good. Why orange?
Why orange? Well, that's my default answer is why not? You know, everyone chooses a lot of like red and blue and stuff like that, but orange is like, it's an underdog. And I like a bit of an underdog, folks. So if you know anything about me, always like to give someone a bit of a chance. And also, orange is nice and bright. You know, the future's bright, the future's orange. There's a fruit that's named after a colour. How good is that? Orange is my fave.
You definitely thought that through before.
Yeah.
I can definitely tell. All right, we've got 50 seconds. Favorite Taylor Swift song?
I'm going to go with Wildest Dreams.
And that's it.
Was that?
That was 36 seconds left.
Oh, right. There you go. Smashed it.
We actually did it.
I was ready. I came prepped. I had no idea what questions were coming up, but just got to be on it.
There you go. You
go.
went in, and now I feel like I know you better.
Well, thank you very much for that. And please keep sending in your questions because we're going to have lots of Meet the Mentors throughout the time here. So if you want to get to know us a little bit more, please send in your questions. Thank you.
And now we're moving on to the next segment,
which is
Would You Rather?
That was good.
That was insane.
It's only podcast number 2, but
I know, we're getting better.
Would you rather? So the last time we had was, would you rather have like wooden eyes or wooden legs? And I think for most people who were viewers of the podcast said wooden legs. So I guess I was like the other side of that, maybe.
I don't think you went into enough detail, maybe. You weren't convincing enough.
I think it was the dancing legs that did it, to be honest with you. But fair enough. But we've got a new one this time, and it was from someone who viewed it last time. So the question is, would you rather be happy and poor or rich and sad? Discuss.
Thanks for that permission, Wes. Well, I'm going to hit it off, and I'll probably say I'll be sad and poor.
Sad and poor.
You know, keeping it humble. You know, you see, sometimes I've heard of people being like, oh, you go to Africa or like poor places, and then the people are having a better life than in the cities and that have loads of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you just get happy with a stone, you know? You see a pebble and you're like having the time of your life. You get creative and inventive when you don't have enough money.
That is
so
true.
I think I'd definitely rather be creative, happy, and poor.
And it depends what you think what the word poor means, isn't it?
Yeah.
If poor means
Rich in the soul.
Wait, exactly. Sometimes you can be poor, like you don't have a lot of like time during the day, but you can be rich in life.
Yeah.
Other aspects. I think for me, I would also choose the same as you. I think like if you're talking about rich as in money, that doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, it gives you an opportunity to do a whole bunch of stuff in life. Like, don't get me wrong, but if you have a lot of money, you're still sad. That's the ultimate sadness. Like, I've got resources and everything, but I'm still haven't found that happiness. So I would definitely go for being sad. Oh, not sad. Sorry, being happy, but poor is what I'd say.
Yeah, I mean the ultimate, obviously, great to be rich and happy, but
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
then you can like give your resources to others who need it. But
I think so. And what do you think out there in terms of that? Would you rather be like rich but sad? I mean, I guess if you're rich and sad, you can try and buy happiness sometimes. I mean,
but can you buy happiness?
well, that is
That is
a question for episode 3, maybe.
Yeah.
There we go. But would you rather be like happy but poor? So, answers in the comment section, please, and send it to us. And then hopefully on the next podcast, we'll be able to share that with you.
We do read them, and if you see us face to face, again, we invite you. Just tell us.
That's right, exactly. So, stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. And now the next part that we've got is something that came out of the last one about what was the last gig we went to or the last film we watched. It's what was the last? And again, all the content from today has come from other people. So one of our viewers has asked a question: what was the last book that you read? Maybe they I guess because you went first on the Would You Rather.
Go for it,
happy for me to go
yes,
first on this
yes,
one?
absolutely.
Okay. So the last book I read is called The Undercover Economist.
Is it worth a read?
It's worth a read if you want to know how the world works.
In what sense?
Well, I'm glad you asked. And this is the perfect segment.
It's not even planned.
Exactly. So the Undercover Economist answers questions. Why is if there's a coffee shop, why is there so many coffee shops next to each other? Where it would make more sense if you had a coffee shop somewhere else, so you're not clashing with the other popular coffee shops.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and the reason why is this book has explained it. So there's an economist who goes undercover to find out these different things, and it also talks about why, if the price of petrol has gone up, how is that connected to people buying nappies and stuff like that. So it's all about economy, how it's all connected. I found it personally very fascinating because I thought it was really good, and I always want to know how things work. But the reason why a lot of shops and stores are next to each other, a bit like when it comes to if you've got like a Coca-Cola stand and then like a vending machine, and right next to it you might have a Pepsi one. It's like, well, of course we're going to go for. But now there might be some Pepsi fans or Coke fans out there, but some people have a bit of a preference. But if you go for one of them, the chances are you're gonna have a chance to buy the lesser one. I'm not going to say what the lesser one is because people are big fans of Coke and Pepsi out there, but that's why things are all together rather than being separately. If things are next to each other, then the chances are, oh, that queue might be too long or something. I'm going to go for the one next to it. I mean, that's just like a really basic way of reading the book, but very fascinating. I do recommend it, but it is quite a read. So if you've got a good few nights where you want to read a book alongside another book, this might be the alongside book. So The Undercover Economist, check it out.
Oh, great. So it's quite educational, you would say.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just like, oh, I'm tired, why is now some of my streaming services really expensive? Well, there might be a reason for it. It's not just a case of just going up an extra £1 or two. There might be other factors that are contributing to it. So it's just like how everything is connected in the world. So I personally had a good time reading it, and hopefully you will too.
That's really cool. The last book that I read, this is the book that I try to read every day, and that is the Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah, I'm in the Gospel of Luke at the moment, just reading it through. At the more of a start of it, going through the life of John and then introduction of Jesus.
Oh, very good.
Love a read of a Bible.
Nice.
Nice and encouraging.
Book of Luke. And have you read the other Gospels before that, or you just jumped straight in with Luke?
At the moment, I was hearing some commentaries on the Book of Luke, and so I wanted to just jump straight. I haven't read the Book of Luke in a while, and so I thought, give it a read again.
Well, why not? Well, usually at this time, we'd recommend books. Now, I have read the Book of Luke as well, but I'm also happy to read it again. But if you do want to have a little snippet of one of the undercover economists, I can show you a particular chapter that could be good. So yeah, it might be it's about that thick the book is, but if you want to read like a particular chapter, let me know. And
That
I've
would be
got a copy
cool
of
to
it.
know. Yeah. Have you heard of this app actually? I don't know if it's called like Head something. But anyway, the actual app gives you highlights of certain books. When I try to sign up for it, it's like go to the paid thing. If that's
Right.
something rings anybody's viewers like ears in terms of being of interest, apparently it's a really good app for those that want to get the key knowledge from different books but
Okay.
don't really have the time or not huge readers, so they get to go basically into the meatier parts of books
Nice.
every day or whenever they open it without reading the backstories if they're not too interested into that. So
Okay.
it's just quite snippet learning, I guess, or snippet information.
Okay, very good.
We're not sponsored.
No.
I've just heard about it and I thought that's an interesting idea.
That's good. I wish I had that. Like when I was like studying, and there's like right, there's 10 books on your like reading list. I wish I knew where the snippet bits were, but oh well, maybe in another life. Who knows?
There's still time. There's
Yeah,
still time,
there's
Wes.
still time. I'm always studying, so it's all good.
Now we're moving on to the next segment.
Cheers.
Upcoming events. Dun, 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 dun.
That's why you got the jingle this time, yeah. Upcoming events. So, a space drop-in that we've got. So every Friday, 6:15 to 7:15. If you're a young person that's involved in any of our activities at AIM, it doesn't just have to be Starfish. You can come on down, whatever program you're part of. Come and check it out. And that's been going definitely between now until December. So if you've got a spare hour on you want to start your weekend well, I can't think of a better way than coming down to the space drop-in.
Oh, it's fun. Last week we made some pizzas and there's never a lack of snacks
No, exactly.
and just great company.
Yeah, and I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, if there's lots of snacks and stuff, how much does that cost? Free.
Free.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Come on, and there's lots of fun, excitement, games, all sorts. So I've learned a lot just by being there. I've learned a lot about cars. I've learned a lot about like games. I've learned a lot about pizzas. And we didn't
Yeah.
have any mushrooms.
Next time.
Next time.
We'll
there
go
you
mushroom picking.
Okay. Yeah, mushroom. Just be careful which mushrooms you go for out there, though. Some
I've
of
been
them
half
are-
trained. I remember from my childhood.
I'll let you lead the way, Anya. That's cool.
Yeah, the mushroom picking tricks.
And that is actually, for this case, the Starfish Podcast, episode number 2.
And this is Wes.
And this is Anya.
Great to have you with us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.